All right, guys. So welcome to the amazing, beautiful day. We'll be having our first session today. I'm super excited, and we're going to take a break after an hour, 30 minutes. Just a tea break, and then we'll come back to the session. I'll try as much as I can to break things down to the barest minimum. I understand some of us already have some level of experience with front-end development, but I'm still going to assume as though I'm dealing with total beginners so that I can carry everyone along. And should in case you feel like I'm kind of wasting your time, you can just drop me a message and then we'll see how we can fast forward things. If you have questions, please do raise your hand so I can pause and then attend to your questions, or you can still drop them in the chat section. So basically for the first session, this is what we'll be treating. We'll look at the introduction to web development. We'll look at the structure of HTML documents. Okay. So for the introduction to web development, we'll talk about some of these development tools. We'll look at understanding how the internet basically works, how website works. We'll look at an introduction to web development, what is it all about, and then setting up our development environment. I sent a message in the group for us to download some of the tools we may be needing during our session. I want to believe we have. Please, if you have installed any of those tools, just kindly indicate by raising your hand so that I'll know how to address or how I'll go with the conversation during the course of the session. Okay, Emmanuel, thank you. Who else? So if you have, just indicate by raise of hand. Emmanuel has raised his hand. Is it just Emmanuel? Boniface, Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel has. Precious. Ugbe. Have you? Okay, so should in case you have not, kindly go through the video I dropped in the WhatsApp group to see if you can get those tools downloaded. It's quite pretty simple and easy process, right? Okay, Jeffrey say I installed Visual Studio. That's great. All right, so let's go into the session properly.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Samuel. I'm just sorry, I was on a bit distracted. Sorry, can you send us a link on the link here for the download, the Visual Studio? I tried downloading it, but I was just getting a free trial. So I don't know if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. I will do that.
Thank you.
All right. Someone will just get the link and drop in the chat section. All right, so Juliet, please, if you're on the call, or Pels, if you're on the call, kindly help me drop the link in the chat section so they can pick it. Also drop it in the WhatsApp group. All right, so basically these are the tools we'll be needing. Just our computer, which I believe you all have computers, because I want to believe you joined this call with computers. Then you need access to an internet. Probably you already know without internet, this call will not be, we won't be able to have this call. You need a browser, yeah? For the browser, basically, we are going to use it. We are building for the web, right? And then the only way you can access the web, the internet, is via a browser, right? So literally everything we'll be writing, we'll be testing it via a browser. And you can use Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, that's on an iOS device, right? Any of these devices work, right? But I also sent a video on how to even go about installing Chrome, should in case you don't know how to, and then you may want to use Chrome, right? Then for code editors, when you're talking about code editors, in simple terms, these are like notebooks. Like, for example, let's say you attend a class, you want to make notes. Basically, what you need to write down those notes are like your notebook. You pick a notepad, a notebook, or whatever, use a pen to write inside, right? And then you store those informations. And when you want to retrieve them, you can also use this notebook. You can go through your notes, the ones you made in the notebook or your notepad, right? So code editors, they're just basically like a notebook kind of that you use in writing down those codes. And then there are a whole lot of them out there. You have VS Code, you have Atom, Sublime Text, Branked. You see things like Notepad++, and some JetBrains kind of packages. There are a whole lot of them out there. But I will recommend we go with VS Code, because VS Code literally has a lot of embedded extensions that makes life very easy for you. It's beginner friendly, has a very beautiful interface, easy to navigate around, and has a lot of features that comes out of the box that helps make coding super easy and fun, right? Then lastly, we'll be needing Git. Git is like a version control. It's a version control software. So it kind of, let me try to bring this down to simpler things. I want to believe we are conversant with things like Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Drive, Google Docs. So it's like when you make notes on your Google Docs, it helps you arrange those notes in various versions, right? Okay, you can, the links have been dropped in the chat, so kindly check the chat section and pick them. You can do that maybe while we pause for a break or something, or you can still start initiating the download while we proceed with our sessions, right? So these are basically the tools we'll be needing for this session, the front-end development, right? So first, how does the web works? The web is like World Wide Web, right? For short, we just call it web. That's the www. How does it even work in the first place? How does the web work? On my screen, you can just see a picture of a lady trying to cross the road. Let's say this lady left her home, her house, which is like on the behind her, that's my left-hand side at her back. Let's say she just left her house. She's trying to cross this road to go through maybe a store to probably purchase some items. So on reaching the store, two things are going to happen. She's going to meet maybe the storekeeper, right? So when she meets the storekeeper, she will definitely request for the items she needs from the storekeeper. She'll be like, okay, I want to buy this and this. Do you have this in the store? So the storekeeper can either reply that, okay, yes, we have these stuffs you want to buy. Here are the items. Or the storekeeper could be that, sorry, we don't have these items you want to buy. We don't have these items you want to buy. So at that point, she's either leaving the store to try to locate another store to get those items, right? Or, probably she's trying to check another store, or maybe that could be it. Like, okay, these things, we don't have it. Or maybe probably she can check back later. So this is just a typical scenario of how the web works. So it's such that when you make a request to the internet for certain information, like maybe searching on the internet, what does HTML stands for? In that case, you're trying to, it's like you left your house. You are in the shop asking the storekeeper, what is HTML? Or can you give me this item? So the web is going to give you a reply. This reply can either be, okay, HTML stands for hypertext markup language, or you get a prompt that maybe site not reachable, or some sort of response not found, or some sort of page not found. You're definitely going to get a response. It could either be, okay, yes, this is what you're asking for, or what you're asking for does not exist, right? So that's just how the web works. You make a request and then you get back a response, right? And then how do we usually make this response, this request? Basically, we use the client. By client, now I'm referring to the browser. By the browser now, I'm referring to your Chrome, I'm referring to your Opera Mini, I'm referring to your Safari, or whatever device you intended to use to browse the internet, right? This is like the client making a request to the server. So this is like the lady requesting for certain items from the storekeeper. At this point, she's definitely going to get a response. So the server also replies with, okay, here is what you're asking for, or what you're asking for, we do not have it. right? So that's just basically how the web works. So now, for our course, that's front-end web development, basically what we are building is we are building the client side, what the user is going to see and interact with, and then impute or use to make a request to the server. So now, if you split this guy into two now, the client is like we are referring to the front end. Then the server side of things, we are referring to like the back end. Right? So now when you're talking about web development, so in simple terms, it just refers to a process of creating website and web applications. I was very careful with this choice of words. If you notice, web app and website are in quotes. Sorry, can you give me a break? Let me take water. I'm a bit dehydrated.
What's audio? I can hear you.
Oh, so sorry. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So, like I was trying to explain, web development basically is, in simple terms, like you trying to create, is a process, right, of creating websites and web applications using a combination of programming languages, markup languages, and frameworks. Don't worry, I'll explain all those terms. So, if you notice, if you can see my slide clearly, I said websites in bold, web applications in bold. What's the difference? Which means there's a difference, but most times people tend to look at it like one, but there's a difference. Maybe one of my take home for you is to also try to look out what are the differences. But I'll still give you one though. The difference between a website and a web application is, let's say maybe you visit a company site, you just go there to get information about this company. You're not doing any sort of interaction. You're not changing anything. The content about the information about this company is static. By static, I mean the contents are not changing. Let's say you check it today. They tell you, okay, and company A is about blah, 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 blah. You come back tomorrow, you check it tomorrow, you're still going to see the same information you saw yesterday about company A. Check it a week after, you're still going to see the same information, except maybe there's a little upgrade in that site. They could just maybe edit some content, right? But let's look at let's look at Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, for example. If you log into your Facebook now, the live feeds you see now would definitely be different from the ones you see maybe when you log in after 2 to 3 hours later. The contents keep changing. Like you can interact with this application. You can interact with it. You can change stuff. You can upload things. But for when you visit a company's website, you can't upload anything. That's just basically for information's sake. The content are static. But for a web application, the content are dynamic. They keep changing as users interact with those web applications, right? So that's just one of the key highlights you can take home about the difference between these two. But still go on, do your own research. You see there are a whole lot of write-ups about the key differences. That will give you clear understanding of, okay, I'm building a website or I'm building a web application, right? Then I also said using a combination of programming languages, markup languages, and frameworks. Programming languages, markup languages, and frameworks. All right, maybe when we go, maybe in the next slide, we'll understand some of these things better, right? So we said this web development now can be divided into two categories, as the front end and back end, like we saw in my previous slide. When we're talking about clients and the server, right? So we say the client side is more or less like the front end. The server side is more or less like the back end. So these are like the two categories I'm trying to refer to here, the front end and then the back end. So what's the front end? What does it entail? Front end. Front is like it's facing you, right? It's in your front. That's literally, it is right in your front. That's another word you could see it is they call it the client side. The clients, where people are visiting, what are seeing their side, what is in front of them. And this is the part of the website that the user can see and then interact with. It can be called client side because it is part of the user. The user, the client here now are referring to the user, right? the clients can see it and interact with it. And then the core technologies to build this front end. That's the client side, right? Okay, just a quick check. I think I can see the message in the chat. Can you hear me? Hello, Geoffrey, can you hear me? Geoffrey?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so like I was trying to explain,
I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Absolutely, thank you very much for the feedback. So the core technologies used in building the front end are just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So basically what I want you to understand is every website you see out there, the front, what you're interacting with, what you're seeing was built with HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript. Every website you see out there, whether it was built with maybe some sort of a content management system like WordPress or Wix or whatever it was built with, all those content management systems where the front end of it were designed using these core technologies. That's, in essence, what I'm trying to let you understand is, as long as front end is concerned, you cannot do without these three technologies. Every other add-on that makes the development of these guys super fast, they could just be frameworks. And you could hear people say maybe things like React, JS, Vue.js, AngularJS. There are a ton of them out there, right? Those are just frameworks. So now if you look at my definition of web development earlier, we said, okay, they are built using a combination of programming languages, markup languages, and frameworks. So those frameworks are the things you could be hearing people talk about. Oh, I built my front end using React.js. But know that this React.js is just a combination of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Here, Vue.js is still just a combination of those three. AngularJS is still a combination of these three. So this is like the three core technologies you can't do without when building your front end applications, right? So I want to believe that part is clear. Any question? Boniface, do you have anything to chip in? Any question? Emmanuel, are we on the same page? Precious, are we on the same page? John, are we on the same page? Please, we are. Can you just drop a thumbs up or something so that I'll be sure? Great, Emmanuel. All right. Just Manuel responded. Okay, can see a second one from Boniface. Thank you, guys. Great. I really appreciate the feedback. All right, so basically that's just and then during the course of our training, we'll be diving deep into these three technologies. So what about the second part of the web? That's the back end, right? So now when you're talking about back end, for knowledge sake, it just refers to the creation and management of the server side of the web application. Thus, it handles the server logic, let's say the business logic. It's, for example, now, when during the process of creating an account on a platform, let's say you want to create an account on, let's say, LinkedIn, for example, you could click on the sign up. So the front end will provide a form for you. So now this is how their job goes, this is how they all come in sync. The front end guy will provide an interface for you to click on a button to sign up. So when you click on this button, he now redirects you to another form where you now supply your information. This is part of the front end guy now. So now when he collects this information, he will now send it to the back end guy via an API, an endpoint. And those endpoints are just more or less like URLs, that are more or less like links. So you now collect this data and send it to that endpoint. So the backend now collects those information and then store it somewhere in the database. Like you can see this image here. The client send a request. That, for example, you now collect this information, this sign-up information, and send it to the backend, which is like the web service here. So this web service collects this information, your information now, and then store it somewhere in the database online, right? So now, once it successfully stores it, the server will now send you back a response that, oh, registration was successful. So the front end guy now say, okay, this is the response that is coming back from the server. And then the front end guy will now display this response to the client, that's to the user, that, oh, your registration was successful. Then at that point, the user can now proceed to log in. So that's just how those different components connect. The front end will build that interface for you to interact with. The server now collects those details, perform some business operations on those informations where needed, and store it in the database if needed, and then send back a response to the front end. So the client now says, oh, that operation was successful, right? So basically, during the course of this, our training, we're looking deep into these technologies, HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. And basically, that's just how those three guys connect. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about how this web works, how the front end and the back end communicate, and how you can easily, from my explanation, how when you launch a website or you land on a web application, you interact with all the functional things that are happening. And I want to believe I was able to do some justice to that. Was it clear enough? Or do you have any questions before we proceed? Hello, guys. Was it clear enough? Boniface, was it? Was I making any sense? Or I was just talking to myself? Okay, Manuel hand is raised. Okay, you can unmute and talk. Manuel. Yeah, Emmanuel, go on.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so from the definition of the front end that I was given there, okay, I noticed that website was used to define the front end, and then for the back end, instead of website, yeah, it was web application. So why is it so? Is there any reason for that?
Okay, this is the best reason I could give. Why I made mention of website and then web app for the front end. Why we were talking about front end? I just wanted you to get a distinction of some of the things you'll be building. So you may be building an app and then be like, oh, I'm building a website. But in the real sense, what you're building is a web application. But when you look at it from the back end perspective, the back end, which only communicates, only handles the logic. So the back end does not even care what you have in the front end is a website or a web application. But most times, the interactions between those applications, like user interactions on the platform, mostly happens more on the web application. And I know I'm brought in the issue of, let's look at Facebook, for example. A user logs on Facebook. Facebook is a web app. Let's look at it. Let me bring certain, okay, Facebook now is a web application, right? A user logs on web app, Facebook, registers. This registration, this information are collected by the front end and then are sent to the back end, web app. Let's change the conversation. A user lands on a company's website to read about the company. He just goes through the pages and leaves. There's no interaction with server side. The backend did not play any functionality here. Only on rare cases, a user can now say, okay, let me just drop these people a message, or let me make an inquiry. He now go to the contact us page and then send a mail. Then, if that organization's website, the contact form is being handled by the back end, that's where the back end now comes into play. But it may also amaze you that there are some libraries, some frameworks that can even collect contact information in the front end and mail it to the owner of the business without a backend. Emmanuel, I don't know if I was able to shed light on that. Was I?
Yes.
You were able to get those differences?
Yes, I'll also do more research on it later after.
Yeah. Still fine. You can do more research, have questions, ping me, drop any question in the group, tag me, tag any of the administrators. I'll be glad to answer them. I'll be very glad.
I think you also spoke about web applications being dynamic and website. So
yes,
I'll check more on that. All right.
Yeah, you can just go one. Remember, I was like, I said that was just one of the differences, but just do your own research. You're going to see tons of differences.
No problem. Thank you very much.
So the essence is basically why I brought in that. The essence is for you to know what you're actually building, for you to be able to explain, talk to someone like a professional that, okay, I know this thing, I know my onions, right?
Yes.
So it's best you understand the differences between these two. But most times people see web app as a website. People even look at website as a web application without knowing what's the distinction, right? But you can still go and do your own research and then you get to see more information, right?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Welcome. All right. So is there any other question? Okay, if there are no other questions, then okay, I can proceed. Okay, let me share my screen again so we can proceed. Okay, so guys, we prepared these resources just to guide or just to give you some sort of roadmap towards your learning, because trust me, trying to do self-learning, most times you see yourself going up, coming down, dancing around. There's no straight path to follow and all that. We've been in this industry for quite a number of years, 4 years plus, basically 5 years, getting to 6 years thereabouts. I've worked as a front-end engineer with a lot of different companies, both startup and big organizations. Worked as a back-end engineer with startups and even big organizations. So I've also tried self-learning before. I've also enrolled in an institute before. And then why I love this space is basically I see it like a school that you don't tend to graduate from. Why I say it's cool that you do not tend to graduate, because the technology keeps evolving, right? So we keep learning new things. I could remember back then some tags we were using MyQueen. Now, if you check them, they are deprecated and things like that, right? So so this is more or less like a roadmap. So for our 6 weeks program, we were able to draft out this structure, what we'll be looking at. So I'm going to share a link to this resource so you can always interact with, and then some sort of have a roadmap to guide your learning and then your research. I'll also do well to filter informations and then drop them in the WhatsApp group for you to also take a look at. And then during the course of your learning, if you have any questions, just feel free to dump it there, and then you see we'll pick it up and then we'll be able to attend to you. So for the course of this session, we also prepared a material on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but this has not been published to this page yet. This is Gitbooks. If you're conversant with Gitbook, we actually made use of Gitbooks. If you're not conversant, you can still take a look at it, how you can prepare your own materials, online contents, and then share with friends and all that. Keep them for your own learning sake as well. So, and then if you look at this, when you open the HTML section, you have the first layer. How does the website works? So basically, this is something we have also tried to look at during the course of the session. You hear things, people talking about things like, oh, I want to get a domain name. We need web hosting, HTTP, web browsers, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So these are like maybe the core breakdown of the technologies or the terms you could hear revolving around front-end development, domain name. So when you're referring to domain name, for example, for some of us, before you registered, you went through this company's website, www.maxifyglobal.com. So now here, the Maxify Global, this is what I'm referring to as the domain name, right? It's like a street to your house, a remote house, an online house, right? So it's like Maxify now has a house online that people can visit to see them, to see what they're doing. So this house, remember, is built somewhere online. That's the web host. It's like you now keep hosting this house somewhere. You build this house somewhere online. So when you're talking about web hosts, here things like web hosting, that's like you're trying to host your own site, host your own website, host your own web app in the internet space, right? And then, okay, you have hosted, you need to give people some sort of a name that they can now follow through to access your content. That's like a domain name, right? So they now follow through certain protocols, that's HTTPS, that's hypertext transfer protocols to access. It's like they now kind of, it's like, let me bring it down. It's like maybe they are trying to enter here. Good. They now enter a vehicle to go to this direction. So this vehicle now, it could either be a motorcycle or a car, right? So a motorcycle here, I'm referring to like maybe say HTTP, that's a motorcycle now. A car here now, I'm referring to it like as HTTPS. There's a secured connection here, right? So because I'm looking at it like, oh, a car is a bit more comfortable, a bit more secure, right? So that's why I'm using a car for HTTPS and then a motorcycle for HTTP, right? So they are using some certain protocol, certain means of transportation to go to your house address, which is hosted somewhere. So that place is like a web hosting platform. There are a lot of them out there. And then a domain name, that's like the address to your house, following through a protocol, right? And then they are accessing this, they are embarking on this journey via a web browser. I don't know if this scenario I'm using connecting this for makes sense, right? And meanwhile, this your house that is hosted online was the foundation, the structure of that house was built using HTML. And then the painting of the house, was being done using CSS. And then the logics of the house, that's like, let's say maybe for some people that maybe lead opportunity to, okay, let's say come across or even own an automated house or come across or we've watched it in movies or something, right? Where most things are automated, that's like a house that can make decisions, right? Like maybe you clap, it listens, okay, understands that this clap means turn on the lights. That's like a house that can think, can make decision, it's actually hearing. Like I'm just putting this in simple plain terms, right? So that we can connect all these nodes. So this is how these 7 key technologies connect using this typical scenario. Somebody is using the web browser to travel to your house via HTTP or HTTPS. And this your house has an address, that's a domain name. And it is built somewhere in space, that's web hosting. And the structure of that house was designed using HTML. remember, it's a markup language. HTML is markup language. It is not a programming language. Let's not make that mistake. And then the beautification of this house, the painting, the decoration of the house was done with CSS. And then some automations in the house were performed using JavaScript. That's just how those technologies connect. That's you want to visualize it. That's just it, right? So maybe you can see, make time to go through this material and then read some of those nitty-gritties, right? Okay, so let me quickly show us a picture. And stop sharing and share my other tab. Okay. Okay. Okay, while it's still coming up, we can still proceed into what we're talking about. Let's proceed. All right, so basically that was just an illustration of how the web literally works, how the connecting knots in the web, right? So now let's look at those individual concepts. First, we talked about HTML. What is HTML in the first place, right? So I think, like I said earlier, it's just used in designing the structure, right? You use it in designing the structure of the website, how it's just going to look like. And like I said, it is not a programming language. So HTML is just a standard markup language used for creating web pages. Yeah, it allows you to render things like text, your images, links, organize, and just helps you design an overall structure of how you want the website to look, right? So the role of HTML in web is just to build the structure, the foundation. It's just to build the foundation of your website, and then which the CSS now ends up beautifying, right? So now for us to write this HTML code, that's where our VS Code now comes into play. So setting up your development environment, you say at this point you choose your text editor, which we've already talked about, and then there are a lot of them out there. Visual Studio Code, we've mentioned this guy earlier, Sublime Text, Atom, Notepad++. Yeah, I think I remember mentioning this as well, right? Then creating a new, we'll look at this let's just jump into the VS Code. Before I launch my VS Code, let me kindly, I don't know, Pels, if you see on the call, how much time do we have left for our break so that I'll know how to proceed. I don't want us to cut in between. And we started the section by 1:30. Okay, it's just 2:14. So I think we still have a couple of minutes. All right. So then another thing again, as an extra add-on that maybe I'll be bringing up on board, I'll also share resources. And then I also advise you to go on and try to see how you can do your own research and then learn is how to make use of the command line, right? So throughout the course of our training, I'll be using my command line to navigate my system so that we get acquainted to using it, and then it becomes a part of us. And then we also get to learn more on how to use it, because we may need some of this knowledge while working out there, right? So let me stop sharing again and share my entire screen. It's my entire screen. Okay, I share. Okay, great. I'm sharing my entire screen now. Okay. Okay, bash. I don't know if you guys can see this terminal running on my system currently. I just launched a terminal I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. All right. So when you install Git, that either you make use of the link or you can easily use the browser. You can just type Git, just Git. This is the link to it. Just click on this guy, and then the video I shared with us earlier, I think if you'll be able to watch it, it's just a very short video of, I think 1 minute or 2 minutes thereabout. You'll be able to download Git. So after you have downloaded and then follow the instruction to install Git, it gives you this, it installs this package on your PC, Git Bash. Should in case maybe you're using a different machine, either by different machine, I mean either you're using an iOS device that's a MacBook or a Windows, and then you're finding it difficult doing these installations, please do not hesitate to drop a message in the chat. There are a lot of people waiting for you to just drop a message that, oh, I'm having this issue, and they'll be glad, super glad to assist you, right? So when you install Git, it comes with this behind the scene Git Bash. So when you click to open this Git Bash, this is a command line interface, right? It gives you a terminal, a command. Sorry. This is blocking my screen. This guy blocking my screen. Sorry. Let me take off. Okay, great. Let me pull up a tool called Excalidraw. So I'll be doing some illustration on this guy. All right. So basically what I was trying to say, it just pulls that guy Git Bash, right? Oh, thanks, Git Bash. Sorry, just a moment. Okay. Okay, great. And this is, wow. Okay, good. So yeah, Git Bash. So like I said, this guy is just a command line interface. It's a terminal. You can call it terminal, or it's a command line interface, right? It helps you just in writing certain commands to interact with the operating system. Now, for example, let's say if we want to ideally navigate our system, most times we click the Windows button, we'll click on the document, or we could click on this guy and we click on documents, and then we start going through stuff, download pictures, all of these and the likes, right? So, but basically, besides using the GUI, maybe some of these terms you can also GUI, graphical user interface. You can now make use of the terminal. It's either you're using the terminal or the GUI to interact with your system, right? So most of our navigation will be making use of the CLI, the command line interface, right, to navigate within our system. So by what I mean is, let's say maybe I pull up this Git Bash now, and then I want to go to document. I could write the command like cd, which stands for change directory, right? I'll share a list of some of those commands, and then maybe a short links to resources where you can also get to learn how to use this interface, right? I could just, let me increase the size of this guy. I can do something like cd into documents. So at this point, I'm telling my system, change directory, navigate into document, right? So if I do something like ls, I can see all these are the folders that are inside of my document, right? Let me clear this guy, right? So let's say if I want to even create, I can even create a folder in this document, right? Let me go to my document first. Let me keep this guy side by side. So we'll get to see what's happening. Sorry. So this is my document. So this is document. If I open document now, okay, let me open something else. Let me go to desktop. Great. Yeah, this is my desktop. So this is my desktop now. So if you look at my desktop, right, let me make this guy bigger and split my screen into two. Wait, I think this is better. So now if you look at my desktop, these are the only things you can see on my desktop, right? But now I want to navigate to that. You can see this thing. So this interface we're using here, this is what I'm referring to as the GUI, graphical user interface. You're seeing the graphics, but here in the terminal, you're not seeing the GUI, you're only writing certain prompts, right? So let me go back. Okay. Okay, great. All right. So now let me navigate CD into my desktop. Okay, I can do change CD, which stands for change directory into my desktop. And then if I do ls, which stands for like, show me all the files on the desktop. You can see this Beekeeper Studio. Look at it here, Beekeeper Studio. Cursor, this is Cursor. Microsoft Edge, this is Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Teams, this is Microsoft Teams. Notion, this is it here. Postman is right here. Zoom, it's right here. And then this Zoran Chrome, it is right here. So you can see I'm still accessing my desktop, but via a terminal, right? And here I can even create a folder. You know, ideally, if we want to create folders, we can just do things like we double click, we'll go to new, and then we'll locate. Something is blocking my screen. Excuse me one man. Okay. So double click, we'll go to new, then we'll go to folder, right? Then I can create the folder like, okay, can call this folder Maxify. So this is a folder now. Let me use the GUI to check and see this folder. Or what I need to do, look at on desktop. My current path is showing desktop to show you that, okay, currently I'm on the desktop, right? So to see the things that are in desktop, all I need to do is start ls. It stands for like list all the items. You can now see this folder I created, Maxify. This is a folder here, right? So let's say I delete this folder. It's no longer here, right? So to clear my screen, I can do CLS, sorry. I can type clear, clear. My screen is cleared, right? So if I do ls, remember I've deleted that folder, right? Enter. You can see that folder is no longer here, right? Also from the terminal, I can go on to create a folder using a command called mkdir. This is like make a directory, then space followed by the name of the folder you want to give it. Let's say I can call this folder now Maxify. So if I hit enter, this folder has created. Now you can even see it appearing in my GUI. So we'll basically be using the command line, this interface, the terminal now to be doing some of those operations like creating folder most of the times, navigating into folders, opening folders so that we get used to also making use of the command line interface. It's going to be super fun. Trust me, it's very simple. It's very, very easy. All what you need to do is just give it some few hours, just an hour or less. At least you get to understand some of those basic commands. And like I said, should in case you ever encounter any challenge, feel free to drop a message in the chat. And there'll be people that are super excited to attend to your queries, right? Okay, so let me go on and then let me delete this guy and then close this string. Okay, let me close this guy and then close this guy and then let's start it fresh, right? It's like, okay, I come to my PC. So if I come to my PC and then basically, so what I want to look at now is just HTML, right? What this guy, so we've taken a look at the environment and all of this guys. So let's look at the next subtopic, which is HTML document structure. We have understood what HTML is. We said it's basically used in just giving us the basic structure of the website, right? And then HTML code snippet, basically they look somewhat like this, but we'll go on and write it, and then we'll look at this material and explain. One of the reasons why we went ahead to prepare these materials so that you have something to fall back to. Beside your research, there's a path for you to follow, right? So, and then you also have access to some mentors in the group to respond to your queries. All right, so let me go on and then open up my Git badge. Let's say I'm just coming in fresh. So I'll open up my Git badge. Let me open this guy full and then zoom in so that you'll be able to see what I'm typing properly. So, okay, I can now navigate into, now if you check here, it's showing there's no folder showing after this guy, right? So besides using Git bash, you can also even use your command line prompts. For those of us using a Windows system, command line prompt, right? So even this guy is showing me that this is where I am, right? So I can as well, but the difference now, this is where the difference comes into play. This guy, Git bash, allows you to write Linux commands as well as Windows command. But the other guy, which is this one here, let me put both of them side by side so you see the difference. The command line prompt allows you just to write Windows operations. Let me give you let me give you an instance. Let's say, okay, remember for this guy to see the list of items in your current folder, all what you need to type is what? ls. I hit enter. It has now shown me all the files and folders in the current place, in the current location that I am, right? But if I come to this guy and type ls, look, it's telling me ls is not recognized. But how can you do that? For this guy, you type dir. dir, that's like, show me all the directories. For this guy, it's like ls. Okay, if I come back to this guy and type the same dir, you see, it still works. So Git bash here, that was what I said earlier. It allows you to write both Linux command and then your normal Windows commands. But the command line prompt, it restricts you to the Windows command, right? So all those functions like ls don't work. And then things like clear to clear your screen here, it's not going to work. But if I come here and then I type clear, see everything cleared off. But if I come here, what then works is CLS. That's cleared everything, right? So these are just some of those key differences, right? But I'll still look for a material. I'll drop a material in the chat for you to also go through and see how you can basically navigate within your terminal, right? So yeah, that is it for the key differences. All right. So let's now navigate and create a folder. So I can now navigate to my desktop. I can do CD into my desktop. So if I do ls, you see I'm currently on the desktop, and then you see showing here that you are on the desktop. I can clear this. Now, if you notice, I'm using a shortcut. When I do ls, instead of having to type clear, it's quite stressful for me. So all on my keyboard, I'm pressing Control followed by L. So Control followed by L just clears that up. It's the same function as typing clear. Control followed by L, Control plus L, right? So, all right, so I can now navigate, I can now create my folder here, call this Maxify -FE for front end. So I can do ls to check this is the folder I've created. I can press Control L. My screen is getting filled up, so I need to clear it off, right? So I can now navigate into that folder I recently created. Look at this here. This is the folder. It's right here. To navigate is also to cd Maxify -FE. And then you can see now it is showing me that I'm in that folder. Let me reduce the size of my screen so you can see. So you can see that I'm in Maxify folder. You can see that I'm currently inside of Maxify folder. And if I do ls, nothing is going to show because that folder is empty. There's nothing inside. What if I want to go back? Someone may be tempted to ask, okay, you're still using CD, but this time dot. This is like one step backward. I'll hit enter. You see, I'm back. I left Maxify back to desktop. I just moved one step backward, right? So now let me navigate back into it. CD Maxify. So another thing again is, instead of having to type Maxify in full, I can just type MAX and then press the tab button on my keyboard. See, automatically completed it for me. See, MAX tab. Those things also makes you super fast and then you get to work quickly, right? So now I've created the folder. So I can now open this current folder using my VS Code. So in case you have installed VS Code on your PC, you could just type C code by dot. What does dot implies? Dot means the current location. Open this place that I'm currently inside using VS Code. That's open this folder Maxify with VS Code. Right? So there are basically two different ways of opening a folder like this using VS Code. Okay, this is one of the approach. You navigate using the command line prompt inside the folder and then type this code dot, open this current folder inside VS Code. So if I hit enter, let's see what's going to happen. Now you can see, when I hit enter, it triggered my VS Code. You can see it's blinking red to show you that it's been triggered. So if I click on it, you see it has opened. Look at the folder it opened, Maxify dash FE, right? So this is just how, or alternatively, that's like one of the approach. You can just go straight and click on VS Code. When you click on VS Code, most times it opens the last folder you were in, right? But I don't want to use that approach. I want to open it as though we didn't start using it at all. So let me just go locate my VS Code. Instead of using it there, let me search for it. VS Code. So this is VS Code. Let me click open. I still don't like the way it opened it. I want us to get the feel of how it opens from the grassroots, because most of you just downloaded it and then when you open it, you may not really, if I go that route, you may not get to, you may see something different from your end and then you wonder, what's happening then? So let me search for it again, VS Code. Let me see, open new window, exactly, okay. So if you're launching it for the first time, this is how it's going to come up. Yeah, this is exactly what you're going to see. This is exactly how it's going to come up. Okay, people saying we have less than 30 minutes for a break. All right, so let me just explain this interface so that maybe when we come back again, we'll begin writing our HTML code properly. So when you open VS Code for the first time, you have installed VS Code on your machine and then you launched it for the first time, you're going to see this interface comes up like this. Welcome node that says just a tab. These are tabs. So anytime you open a file, it's going to appear up here. Tabs, all of them will be displayed on top. You can close any of them with just this. That tab has been closed. So if you look at this sidebar of VS Code, right? This is Explorer. You have search. This search helps you search for a word or a command. It just helps you search your entire project that is open with VS Code, right? Maybe we'll explore it during one of our sessions so you get to see how it feels. So this is source controller, basically, and this guy now helps you to connect to GitHub, which we'll also be looking at GitHub during our subsequently in our sessions. So this is like a debugger tool. So in case maybe you're writing other languages like maybe C#, you can use this run and debug to run your code, right? But basically for us, what we are writing, we don't need any debugger. Basically, what we need to run and test our code is the browser, because we are building for the web. all our code are going to be read by the front end, by the web browser, right? So that's why what we need is a web browser, right? Then if you scroll down, you see these extensions. So if you click on these extensions, this is what makes VS Code fun. These are like they are like helpers. Let me use that word. They are like helper tools that you can install, and then they help you do a whole lot of packages. Now, if you look at this, this is installed. This installed is showing the ones that are currently installed on my own VS Code that I'm using, right? So these are some that were recommended for me to also use, maybe going by my work history. There's, okay, this guy, you've been doing this, we have noticed you've been doing some work related to these packages. You may need some of these things to also help fast forward your work, right? So these are the ones I have currently installed. Okay, Android, iOS, because I also build mobile applications. So I needed it when I was just trying to debug some mobile app I was building. This autocomplete, we'll get to see how all of these extensions work basically when we come back from our short break. Live server, we'll get to see how to use live server, how it works. We'll also look at auto rename, we'll install auto close tags, and we can also install IntelliSense, and then a lot of others that we feel can help us work best. We'll also install Prettier, right? Where's Prettier? I think I have it somewhere. Prettier is like a code formatter. So look at these extensions like, this Prettier. They are like helpers that help you build fast, help you write clean code, help you structure your code. You could just write it, and then they help you indent them by indentation, like gives them the right structures, right? So we're going to look at all of those. We'll be installing them, and then I'll be using them. If I'll uninstall and then install and then show you how to use them, they're pretty simple and straightforward to use, right? They are very simple tools to use. There's nothing so big about them, trust me. So then this is like a remote explorer where you can get to connect with other people. GitLens. What is GitLens? This is also installed. You can because I have this guy installed on my VS Code, that's why you're seeing it here. Should in case you launch your VS Code and then you do not see GitLens, or you do not see things like this Thunder client, don't panic. Your VS Code is good. I just installed these ones to help me. This Thunder client is just to help you test endpoints. It's like an alternative for another tool I have here called Postman. Postman here. You use it to test your APIs. Like I said earlier, I also do a lot of back-end works. So I need some of those tools in helping me work when I'm working as a back-end guy. So basically this is just the interface. And then on top here, sorry, something is covering my screen. Okay, great. On top here you have file, right? Where now, remember I said earlier that there are two different ways you can open your project using VS Code. It's either you navigate in the command line prompt and then type code dots to open that particular project folder in VS Code, or you can now come here and click on this file. You can then go to open a folder, right? Click on this open a folder. It will now take you straight to your GUI. Remember the folder we created is on desktop. So this is the folder, right? You can just click on this guy and then say select folder. It loads up, and then you can see this is the folder we created earlier. This is the folder. So this, remember, is just a welcome note. You can close this guy. So this is the folder now, but at the moment there's nothing inside the folder, right? So if I want to create a file inside of this folder, for example, I want to start writing my HTML code inside of this folder, I can now click on the folder. So immediately click on the folder, you can see these items. You have new file, new folder. new folder, like now you want to create a folder inside of this folder using VS Code. So I can just click on this guy and then maybe write something like week 1. This is week_1. So now you can see this folder is inside of Maxify front end. So if I collapse this guy, you can see it has gone inside. Open it. Now this is the folder. So now I want to put my week 1 code base inside of this week 1 folder, right? So for you to do that, you have to select that folder and then come up here, right? So let's say maybe I didn't select. Let's say I just clicked on this guy. You see this folder is not highlighted, and then I just click on new file and then I type something like index.html. You see this file is not inside of this folder, right? Let me go to the GUI and show us. GUI. We'll go to desktop. So if you open our desktop, Maxify, you see now this index is not inside of this folder, right? So you can actually even do a drag and drop here, right? You can actually click on this guy. See, I've clicked on it. Look, I'm hovering it, and then take it up to the folder, leave it, and then to ask, are you sure you want to move into this guy? Move it. You now see that if I collapse this, you see that file we created is inside of this place now. It's a blank HTML file, right? I don't know if anybody have any question so far. Are we good, guys? Am I too fast? Hello, guys. Boniface, am I too fast? Emmanuel, am I too fast? Jeffrey?
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
some of the things here seem strange.
Wow.
And
okay.
I feel they are technical, but I'm just following to the best of my knowledge, and let's see how it goes. Maybe subsequently, as the weeks unfold, I'll get a hold of it, coupled with my own personal development that I will embark on.
Definitely. And should in case you encounter any challenge during your own studies, feel free to drop a message. Trust me, those things are easy stuffs. Because you're seeing them for the first time, that's why it's appearing, funny and strange, right? But once what I keep telling people is, anything you do not know, no matter how simple it is difficult. Because you don't know it, so it's difficult. But in an idea sense, it could be very simple, right? But it's because we don't know it yet, that's why they look like that. But trust me, they're very easy stuff. So it's normal not to really get a full grasp of it, but that basic stuff, trust me, you get to enjoy the flow, right? So yeah, if there are no other questions, let me just quickly run a recap of what we've done so far. And then maybe we'll just go for a short break, come back, and then we'll introduce HTML properly and then start writing our code. That's if there are no questions. I want to believe there are no questions. Okay. I think there are no questions. I'm assuming there are no questions. Please feel free to ask me questions. Okay. All right. So let's just run a recap. Yeah, so basically we started from our tool sets. So we said we'll be needing these tools to work. We need a computer, we need an internet, a web browser, we need a code editor, which is like a notebook in writing our code. And then we need Git, which is like a version control. And then when you install Git, like I said, it comes with Git bash installed on your PC, which you can use in writing codes in the terminal, right? So then we also looked at how the web works. We said it's like you trying to go to a shop, request for something, and then the shop attendants give you a response. So it's like a client, that's a user using a web browser to access a website or a web app that was built, that the structure was built with HTML, and then it was decorated with CSS, and then some functionality, some brain thinking were done with JavaScript, right? So it's like a user now makes a request using this website, a web app, to the internet. The internet now responds, and this internet is the logic are being written by the back-end side, right? So it now give you a response, which is either, oh yeah, what you requested for, here is the picture, or here is the video to what you have asked, or here is the write-up or the article you have requested to go through and read, or it'll be like, page not found. What you asked for, we don't have it, right? And so we say basically web development is like you now going through a process of creating website and or web applications using a combination of programming languages, markup languages, and frameworks. So for programming languages, we can say now JavaScript that we're going to be learning is a programming language. Markup language, HTML is a markup language. It is not a programming language. Always put that at the back of your mind. It's not a programming language. It's a markup language. And then when you're talking about frameworks, you have guys like React, Angular, Vue.js. Those are frameworks. But remember that those frameworks are just these three technologies fused together. They are still HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in essence, as long as front-end development is concerned, the core is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those frameworks helps you write your code very faster, move very fast, and do some quick deployment, right? But that's the core technology you need to know is these three guys, because those frameworks are built on those three guys. In fact, you are just writing those guys in an environment provided by those frameworks, right? So we talked about web development having two categories, front end and back end. We talk about the front end being the client side where the user can see and interact with. And then we talk about these three technologies being the core in building the front end. Then we talked about the back end, right? Being where the server-side logic happens, right? This is where the server-side logic happens. It involves the logic that handle the functionality on web applications, right? So remember, web applications, it's when a user starts interacting with the site that is a web application, right? So, and when he interacts, the back end is definitely triggered, because when you now try to register on a platform, definitely your information are going to be stored in a database. Definitely you're going to get a response that either, oh, your email has already been used, or, okay, your registration was successful, right? So, and all those prompts are coming back from the back end. So when next you try to log in, they now say, okay, yeah, we know this email, we know this password. Okay, you can have the platform, you can log in. But when you're coming back and then you input your username, password, and then the platform will be like, oh, we don't know this guy, or invalid credentials. Those responses are coming still from the back end. The back end is telling, oh, we do not recognize this password, we do not recognize this email, or we do not recognize this username. So now the back end comes to play in user interactions. That's why mostly I now outline web applications, right? So the including management of data. So it's okay. It does the management of the data. That's those information that are collected. It manages them, make sure you keep them safe from hackers and the likes, right? And ensuring that the front end of web application, they communicate seamlessly. So now remember, those two guys has to be in sync. The front end has to communicate to the back end. It's the front end that is sending data to the back end. The back end is now telling the front end that, okay, yeah, this person I want to log in, oh yeah, allow this guy to go. It's part of us. Or it's now saying, oh no, we don't know this guy. Block him. Don't take him anywhere. So that's just how those three guys connect, right? So then I went ahead to show us the resource we'll be using. Like I said, I'm going to share the link to that resource. You can go through it. There are just very short notes to give you guides when you're trying to do your own studies and you still have access to the community, you have access to us, right? So I don't know if there are any questions. If there are none, then I think we could just observe a short break and then return. So any questions for me? Any questions for me? Are we good? How is the session so far? Can somebody, Jeffrey, can you just unmute and give me feedback?
Yeah, Samuel, you're good. I'm following you. You're really giving your explanations. You're putting us up to speed. Thanks so much. The effort.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Boniface. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Jeffrey, Manuel.
Yeah, nice job. I think I can see it's coming out freely. I wish to be like you soon.
You're definitely better than me.
Yeah, I think I'm getting the hold of it now, and I think the difference between front end and back end is clear for me to understand now.
Great.
Thank you. Good job.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Johnny? Is it Ugbe? Yeah.
Yes, Johnny K. Johnny K.
Okay, Johnny K. So how's it going?
It's going on well. Though my network caught up with me at some point, I left and came back, but all good. I'm getting it.
Oh, okay. So sorry. I think the recordings will also be provided so you can have access to that to watch at your spare time.
That would be very lovely.
I agree. Hello, Precious. How are you doing?
Good evening.
I think your network is.
Yes, I'm having network issues here.
Okay. I agree. But you've been listening? Yeah, I want to believe you're able to pick something. All right. So thank you so much, guys. At this point, I can just turn off my camera and then also get a bottle of water. All right. Cheers, guys.
Sorry, how many minutes break are we going so I can, because the temperature here is hot, I would like to, I'm using my phone. Sorry, because I couldn't install Git. The information came late, and I want to turn off my phone so it will cool off for a minute. I don't know how long the break will last.
Okay, let's just do 10 minutes is fine.
All right, okay.
Please, let's come back at, the call will still be on anyways, but please, 10 minutes is fine. So maybe for those that are not turning off their device, you could just maybe walk away from it, get just walk around or stretch or do something, or just try to see how you can dilute all the information before we launch into the second phase of it. You can still leave your devices connected, that's still fine. But Geoffrey, I think it was Geoffrey, you can just maybe take 10 minutes to turn it off. So assuming we are going on break at 2:55. So by 2:55 exactly. The time is 2:55 here, Nigerian time exactly. So by in the next 10 minutes, that should be like 3:05. In the next 10 minutes, we should be back. Thank you so much, guys. Cheers.
Sorry, I just wanted to maybe bring a quick suggestion or something, because sometimes people, just to carry people along during a learning process, I just installed the Visual Studio now, so I was just hoping if you could, sorry, let me show my face. Oh, so I was just hoping if you could maybe talk people through, people could open their system and you could see if they install the VS Code properly, because I think that's the foundation, the basic of this, taking people step hands-on, so that people know that what they're doing, or if they're not doing anything correctly.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that was
Just a
actually going to be
suggestion,
our
though.
starting
Sorry, I
point.
can't hear you.
No.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah, that was actually going to be our starting point anyway. Yeah, so it's still in line. Can you hear me?
Just a moment. I was using my headphone, but no.
Okay.
Okay,
But you can hear
sorry.
me now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me just do without it. Yeah.
Great. All right. So we're able to get that sorted.
Yeah, I just download it now. But so if I can share my screen.
Screen, right? Yeah, I was about making you a host.
Yeah.
A co-host. Can I make you a co-host?
Okay.
So you can share.
Let's open this thing. So,
I think I can only make you a host. So if you become a host,
just let me know when it's ready.
All right. You are the host.
Okay. I'm a co-host.
You can share your screen now.
All right. Yeah. Let me go through that.
Okay, Manuel, please also try to get your system ready. So once Boniface is done, he'll make you the host. So we'll just run through that circle and then the host comes back to me and then we'll continue.
Yeah. Sure. Share my screen.
All right.
Just a moment. Okay, share screen. Yeah. I was looking for it.
All right, it's cool.
All right. I don't know if you can see me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see your screen.
You can see. Okay,
yeah.
So that's where I am now.
Oh, yeah, great.
Is that it?
Yeah, this is it. So yeah, here at this point now, right? It's like you just install a new package. Then it has different kind of themes. Do you like a dark theme, a dark high contrast, a light theme? That's what you're seeing at your right side. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I think I like the dark mode now.
Okay, just click on it then. Then look, if you look below, there's a next section button.
Okay, just
somewhere in between.
Yeah. I can see that. Okay. Extension, should I click extensions and all that? All these building terminals, GitHub.
Yeah.
Should I click on that?
Yeah, just click extensions. You can, all these are just, that's all. Mark has done.
Customize, should I do that? Is that
no,
good?
You already, by default, is going to give you a code dot.
Okay.
To run it. So you don't need to customize.
I should mark down, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, great.
That's just it.
Nice. Thanks.
So try, were you able to install Git?
No. Okay. So,
okay, maybe in the next session we're going to be having, or maybe within the course of the week, just try installing it, and then maybe we could just, within the week, find time to check, run through.
Great, thanks.
So you can just close this welcome page. There's a tab.
Okay. Here?
Can you see the tab? No. The one, the X button on the top left.
Yeah, I should close that. Should I close that?
Yeah, you can close it. Yes. That's all. So basically that's it. Yeah.
So I can write my codes in this environment, everything.
Yeah, but now you will need to create a file or open. Okay, let's try and set you up at least. So before then we'll set the next person up too. So we'll all be in sync, right?
Great. That's it.
Okay, so just you can create a folder either on your desktop. You can just minimize this for now. Create a folder that you want to be keeping your codes inside, either on the desktop or anywhere you want to keep that. That makes sense.
Okay. Folder, right? I should create a folder on my desktop.
On the desktop.
Okay, I'll do that on the desktop.
So you could just X this using the top right X.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's more than So you can create a folder here.
Create new folder.
Yeah.
I should name it as
Maxify training is fine.
Maxify, okay.
Yeah, you may want to put a hyphen in between them, so it will be like one word.
Okay.
Or an underscore, still fly. Yeah, that's
Okay.
still fly.
Sorry, underscore.
Whichever you want to go with is still going to be either an underscore or a hyphen.
All right.
Yeah, that's you can stop there. It's cool. Maxify training is okay.
All right.
Okay, great. All right. So now there are two ways. Another option to open this, you can just drag the folder on VS Code.
How do I do that?
It. Yeah, just
I should go back to VS Code. Okay.
No. Like I want to show you another way. Yeah, good. You can see you drag it, you're moving it around, right?
Okay, let me get my
I just saw
mouse
you move it. Yeah, I just saw you moved it.
Yeah, I think I have a mouse, yeah.
Yeah, move it on that VS Code you opened.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, leave it there now.
Okay, is it there?
Open VS Code. Yeah, go ahead and open VS Code.
Okay.
Yeah, click on VS Code now. Now the top left, the first icon, that's the Explorer. Click on it. You see, you can collapse and hide this. Yeah, okay, it didn't come up. Yeah, just click open the folder. You can click open the folder here. I wanted to show you another alternative.
Wait. Oh, right.
Okay, the folder is on your desktop, right? Look at desktop. Yes, sidebar. Yes.
Right.
Great. Select folder.
Right.
Yeah, it's asking you, do you trust this? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So you just check the yes. Great. And then you can close this welcome tab.
Okay. All right.
Great. So now this is the folder at the left side, right?
Yeah.
So now here, this is the one I was showing. You can now start creating. Yeah, you can see new file, right? So you want to create a folder inside new folder. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Great.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
Okay. I can stop.
Yeah,
stop sharing, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine for now. You kindly make who else is going next? Emmanuel, Jeffrey stands up. Kindly make Jeffrey the host. You can do that.
Okay, how do I do that?
No. I'm not sharing mine. I only have a question with regards to what Boniface just did. When I was installing my Visual Studio, when I got to that stage where the welcome address was there, I never clicked the extension. Is it possible to always go back there to click the extension and add them up?
Yes, we are going to do that during the course of when we kickstart. Yes. All right, Emmanuel, are you ready? Emmanuel? Okay, yeah. So please, Boniface, make Emmanuel the host.
How do I do that? Thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
Welcome. Just hover over Emmanuel, over his name. A 3 dots will appear at the extreme right. You've seen it?
Okay. Yeah.
Click on the 3 dots. A menu will drop down. You see make a host.
Make host, okay.
Yeah, do that.
I've done that.
Great. He's now the host. Hello, Emmanuel. You can share your screen now.
Okay. Okay, so the sharing of screen, what was it? Because I already have everything installed though, so.
Okay, great. Now if you look on this, at the bottom, there's okay, come to think of it. Okay. Can you just make me the host? Okay. I want to try out something. Make me the host.
Let me make you the host, Samuel.
Yeah, okay.
All right. But I just wanted to explain to you, after participant, you can see the chat and then share screen. You can just touch it there. But let me make you the host.
Yeah, I've made you the host already.
Okay, great. Now if you look at your screen, if you look at the screen, the bottom menu, the first item is mute, right?
Yes.
Second one is video, right?
Yes.
Then there's security. Then there's share screen.
Are you referring to me?
Yes, Manuel. Did you see after mute?
Yes, I can see share screen, but no security though. But there's share screen.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's because I'm the host. Okay, so click on the share screen then. Let's see. I think you should be able to.
Yes, I've seen something came up.
Okay, yeah. It's now asking you to pick the screen you want to share.
Yes.
All right, cool.
So which of the screen do I?
You can share what you want to show us. You can. Okay, now I believe what you're seeing is you are seeing screen, you're seeing whiteboard, you're seeing an iPhone/iPad.
Yes.
Okay, click on the screen. Yeah, okay, great. Click on the screen, and then there's a share button at the bottom right.
Yes.
Yeah, click on the share.
Okay, I should click on screen, then on share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So
yeah.
I'm sharing.
We can see your screen now.
Yes. So what next? You're on mute. I can't hear you again.
Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Okay, I said I can see your VS Code. So you just need to create a folder that we're using working with now, right?
Okay.
And I want to believe from what, from what Boniface did, you can also create a folder and then you'll be able to open it, right?
Straight from the desktop. I'm sorry, I missed that part when Boniface was creating the folder. Sorry.
Okay. So you can create a folder on your desktop now. That's where you're going to be keeping all your code base.
Okay.
Or anywhere you want to intend to create it, either in the desktop, in the document, folder, great. Or you cannot give it a name. Let's say Maxify. No, give it Maxify. Yeah, that still makes sense. Training. Yeah, FE, it's still okay. That's still okay. All right, that's all. All right, let's try and do something now. We wanted to do that with Boniface, but it didn't put through. So let's see if it's going to work with you. Then that will be like the third method of opening a file with VS Code. So I want you to click and hold this folder you just created now. Drag it on top of the VS Code that is open. I can see in your task menu. Yes. Drop it, let me see. It didn't open. Okay, it didn't, right? Okay, let's try something. Let me show you another method to try. Wait, just hold on. You can close these files you have opened already. Exactly, yes. Just drag it on it. Absolutely. Awesome. All right, so Boniface, that's like another method, right? You can just open VS Code by the side, locate the folder you want,
great.
and then drag it on it.
Great.
Is there,
all right,
is there?
Yeah, great. Yeah, we're on same page now. Thanks.
I saw that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Samuel.
Welcome. All right, you can stop sharing now.
Okay.
Great. All right, Johnny K, I don't know if you're there and you ready. Oh, you mentioned joining the call with your phone. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, Geoffrey says she's not ready at the moment. Precious, I want to believe you can do that.
Yes, I can.
Okay, you have all the setup done, right?
Yes, sir.
Great, awesome. Thank you. All right. So let me share my screen now, and then we can continue from where we stopped. So let me share my entire screen. Share. Okay. Let me delete this guy. And then to my desktop, I want to delete this guy as well. So I'll go over it from the beginning. Yes, refusing to open because that folder is currently opened in my VS Code. So for me to be able to delete that folder, I'll have to come and first close my VS Code. Close this guy, then I'll try again. See, it's been deleted now. Great. All right. So let me close this guy too. Yes. All right, so guys, we're going to continue. So this was where we stopped, where we discussed what backend entails. So I said when we come back, we'll be looking at HTML. So I want to believe you can see my screen, and then you can see these three beautiful, did I call them objects or beans? Now, this is just a visual representation of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Like we explained earlier, HTML is just used in building the structure. It's like now you want to build or you want to design a human being, or you want to create your own human being. You use HTML to build the skeleton. So HTML basically is used in building the skeleton of the website. Just the skeleton. It's not the real thing. Just like you have it here, it's just the skeleton, the backbones, right? So now you have a skeleton built with HTML. You need to make the skeleton look beautiful, right? That's where CSS now comes into play. So all the styles, the colors, the animations, the funny things you see flying up and down, the beautiful colors and all that. Yes, they can be done with HTML. You literally can't, actually, you can't. So, but all the beauty of this human being are being made possible with CSS. So, but at this point, this guy is like a dummy. It's just a fine toy that doesn't move, doesn't think, can't talk, can't make any decision, right? Right? Using the house scenario we use, is like you use HTML to build your house. You roof the house. You now brought in CSS to do some sort of painting, tiling works, and all the furniture's well arranged, all the curtains well fixed. You now have a very beautiful home. But it's just a beautiful home. There's no action happening, no decision. Now, when you take one step further, they now say, okay, let me bring in some dudes, some guys to, okay, come and do some sort of automation in the house. So that, okay, when I step into the house, I clap, my lights turns on, I clap again, it goes off, and then maybe I can talk to some things in the house and then the response. There's some sort of automation going on, some sort of like the house making decisions at this point now. The house is listening to some events. You clap, that's like an event. The house listens to that. Those technologies listens and then, okay, perform certain actions. That's like JavaScript coming into play. You build a dummy human being with HTML, bring in CSS to add beauty, and then JavaScript performs those actions, right? Just help make you those decisions. Now, let me give you a scenario how it's being used on your web page. For example, you log in, you land on a login page, which was designed with HTML, made beautiful with CSS. And then you now click submit without imputing your username and password. You didn't impute any information, you just click submit. What do you think is going to happen? Definitely you get some prompt that, oh, invalid email and password, or they get prompts like email and password are required, stuffs like that, right? Basically, you get prompt stuffs like that. That, okay, this and this is required. You have to fill this thing before you proceed. So at that point now, your HTML and CSS, they are making decisions. They checked that, oh, this guy has clicked a submit button, but this guy did not submit any username or password. So at this point, we are going to stop this guy at this very moment. That, oh, you didn't impute your email, you did not impute your password, therefore you're not going further. So that's JavaScript in play. So that's just how those three guys now comes in action and make the web interactive. I want to believe that makes some sort of sense. right, guys?
Yes, it does.
Great, awesome. All right, so now let's go. Oh, great. Thank you for the feedback. So now let's try and look at HTML, how it's being structured, how how it is being written and all that, right? So like I said, I'm going to share you this material, the link to these resources. So I'll be using it, like trying to show you a guide on how to read through it, right? How to understand the content, right? So, okay, if starting from the beginning, like I said earlier, I'll be using a lot of this guide. So I open my Git bash. Just a quick check, guys. Kindly confirm if Git bash was installed on your PC. You can just press open this and then type Git bash. You should see something like this. Kindly check if it was installed. Do we have it?
Is Git bash different from just Git?
Yes. Can see bash.
Yes, I have it installed.
Awesome. I wasn't looking at.
I don't have it. I don't have it.
You don't have it installed?
Yes.
That's not a problem at all. We'll send you a link to install it. All right. Okay, so I'll be using my terminal. Like I said, I'll use this guy until we all get familiar with this guy, right? So it's an easy step. So when I open this, now to check, yes, to check my current folder, how can I check where I am currently? So again, right? Again, right, guys, most times these commands, you may not know them off heart, right? We are not robots, right? That's why we have the internet. So sometimes maybe you want to do a certain thing and then you don't know how to go about it, but you know exactly what you want to do. Not like you don't know what you want to do, right? You know exactly what you want to do. All what you need to do is you can just run a quick check, right? You can just quickly run a quick check, like, okay, I'm trying to hide what is on my screen so that I'll show you how some of these things work, how to get some of those informations. What is this thing on my screen? Let's go away. Okay, someone dropped a message, so it was popping on my screen. So you can just open a tab and ask a question like, okay, I already know, okay, yeah, you can check it using WD, right? I can check, okay, how can I check, or just say, okay, how to check my current directory. Remember, directories are like folders. Directory, see, in Linux, in CMD. Remember, I showed us the difference between these two commands, right? So let's see how to do that in Linux. Or you can see, to know your current directory, you can use pwd command. Pwd, that's just the command. Okay, let's see how to do that in CMD. In CMD. I think WD works for both of them. Let's see. CD, okay, command change. This changes directory followed by, okay, we already talked about this. All right, so let's go and try that out and see. So now, okay, I just launched so the thing now, what we're trying to do is, okay, I just launched my Git bash. How do I even know where I am in the first place? It's just like the pwd, right? Let me zoom in a bit. Pwd. You can now see it is showing me that I'm in users/admin. Right? So if I navigate, I can now go see, remember CD is to change directory. Okay, let me drop Pick this guy. So we have, these are some of the commands we worked with. We say we have cd, this guy is to change directory. And then we have used pwd, this guy is to check current working directory. That's where you're currently in, right? Let me expand this, guys. Right? So we have also tried using mkdir. So this So we have also tried using mkdir. This one is to make, or in another word we say is to create a dir. This is like a directory, right? And directories, remember, they are like folders. Okay. All right. So let's go back to this guy. Remember cd, we just talked about cd here now, is to change current directory. Oh, okay, I skipped one. So before we change, we have also looked at ls. Sorry. We have also looked at ls. And we say ls is to list, or let's call it see all the files and folders in our current working directory. Remember, by working directory, I mean the place you are currently are, right? The folder you are inside is referred to as your current working directory. So I think these are some of the commands we have used. Okay. These are some of the commands that we have used, right? Okay, so let's go to our git bash and try all that. Oh, again, for this, we have also used clear. We have also used clear. We have also used clear. I would say this clear is just basically it's like to clean up our screen, right? Clean up the environment. Let's call this environment, which is like the screen. So these are some of the commands we have used. Copy this and then dump it in the chat section. So, okay, I've also dumped it in the chat section. You can pick it up there as well. All right, so let's go on and try out those commands again. Remember, pwd, check my current working directory, is telling me that I'm currently in admin. So then if I want to, let me open this guy. So if I want to now see all the folders inside admin, say it's ls, I can see everything that these are all the folders here. Right? So if I want to clean up this guy because it is dirty, I can just type clear, right? So if I now want to navigate inside, okay, let me open this guy up. So if I check through this, you see, look at this desktop here, right? If I want to now navigate inside of that desktop folder, I can also okay, cd desktop, right? See, I'm now can see desktop showing here. To confirm, pwd to check my current working directory. You can see this has changed. Now I see desktop is in front, telling me that I'm currently on my desktop. I want to create a folder inside. I can also, okay, mkdir, make a directory called Maxify front end. Hit enter, right? So now if I do ls to see everything, you can see that folder I just created is right here. My screen is getting filled up. I can type clear, or the shortcut I told us earlier, Command plus letter L on your keyboard. Sorry, Control plus L on your keyboard, right? For all those using Windows, Control plus L or Command L now to clear my screen. So which means we just use ls, we have used cd, we have used pwd, we have used mktr, and then we just use clear, right? Okay, great. So now to navigate inside that folder, cd Maxify. I want to clear that, I clear. Check my current work where I am, pwd, enter. It's now showing me you are currently here. I want to open this folder, this particular folder with my VS Code. Let's go and add one line, one more. Okay. So I want to do that. I'm going to type code dot. This stands for open current working directory. Current working. Remember, if I see directory, you understand what I mean now. dir directory. Open current working dir in VS Code. Right? Okay. That's great. Let's back to. Okay, yeah, we are back to this place. Now I want to open this guy. So I'll just type code dot, hit my enter. So let's wait for the magic. You can see this guy is now showing a prompt here to tell me that it has been triggered. So I'll just come down and click on it. Your welcome page will always welcome you. Thank you. Close the tab. Now this is the folder we created. So now from our own end, we can also try create a folder. This is week 1, right? You can create a folder inside. Now see if I hover here, new folder. I can call this folder now week_1. Right? So this is week 1. So inside my week 1 folder, I want to write my first HTML code. Now I can just click this guy. But before I did that, remember I had to select the folder. You have to select that folder first before you can come up here and now select new file. So this file, you can call it index.html. First of all, this is an extension. Remember, if you're working with if you're working with Microsoft Word, you see .doc. This is what I'm talking about. If you're working with Microsoft Word, you can see extensions written. You see .doc. If you are working with let's say Microsoft Excel, you can see something like the CSV, right? CSV, and then if it's an image can even be a .jpeg, or you can even see .jpg. Yeah, you can see various formats. These things are extensions, right? So even VS Code has its own extension. HTML has its own extension, .html, right? So now because of this .html you have written, let's go to the GUI and locate that file. So if I go to the GUI, locate my desktop, come to this folder, open week 1, the file I created, look at it, has taken the shape of my default browser. So assuming my default browser was Opera Mini, this icon would be that icon of an Opera Mini. As it was Edge, this is just going to take the icon of your default browser to tell you that the browser understands this file. Right? The browser understands this particular file you just created. Right. So that's which I've now created our file, right? Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Pels. Pels just dropped the new command in the chat. So now we have our file. In writing our HTML code, now when you go back, when you're trying to study this material, you have something looking like this. Understand the basic structure of HTML. You have a doc type declaration. It starts, yes, something like a doc type declaration, HTML. In between, you have a head, there's a body, and then close with HTML. Fine, let's go back and look at this thing very keenly. Let me zoom in. Okay, now this first starts with okay, let's proceed. This first starts with your less than sign, right? Followed by this doc type. So what this line here implies, you're only saying that everything I'm writing below is of document type HTML. Everything below is of document type what? HTML. That's what I'm writing below, right? And then below it now, that's where you now start your HTML tag, right? So you now write your HTML, close this guy. Now, you see, something happened. Automatically, you notice that this came up. This was automatically added for me. This is an opening tag, and then this is what refers to as a closing tag. Let me check that material. Did I capture that? So now you see doc type declaration. You see, you can read about doc type. Now you see the HTML element. The HTML element serves as the root element. You can see all that. The head element is a container for metadata. We'll look at that. Then see meta has title. Then you see the body, HTML tags, and all of these kind. Okay. So this is like just running you through a brief outline in case you're going through this material, right? So let's go and do the actual thing. So yeah, like I was trying to explain earlier, immediately I typed this guy HTML, and then I now put the closing. It now automatically added this thing for me. There's something doing that behind the scene for me. That's where our extensions comes into play. If I go under extensions, I have this auto close tag. So all what you need to do from your own end is click on extensions. For now, you may not have any installed. There's a search box here. You can now type auto close tag. That's another extension. So you just install this tag. Let me open this tag. Let's see what this tag does. See, already it's installed on my system. See, automatically add HTML close tags, right? So these are what we refer to in HTML. This is an opening tag, and then this is a closing tag. How can you distinguish them? The distinction is the closing tag has a / followed by that the name of the tag. Like here, the name of the tag is HTML. So now there's no close / here, but there's / for this guy. So this what tells that this one here, this guy, this is the closing tag. This one is the closing tag. This one here is the opening. Is the opening tag, right? Yeah. So now that extension will help you automatically close all of these guys. So now talking about extensions, we just added another extension. We have just seen auto close tag in action. That's for auto close tag, right? Then this is the structure. Everything you're writing is HTML. So everything is going to be in between this HTML. So, but remember this image we looked at earlier. Where can I find that? Yeah, this image. If you look at the human being has two basic layers. There's a head, and then everything down below is like, yeah, I may be wrong about this, but just look at it's just a scenario. Everything below the head, that's from the neck down. Excuse me, we can term it the body. Sorry, just a minute. Thank you. So anything below the head, we can call it the body, right? Yeah, you can say the head is part of the body, but now let's just create that distinction. The head is a head. Anything below the head is like the body, right? So that's just how HTML tags works. So inside of the main HTML tag, you have two things. You have the head, and then you have the body. This is the body. Sorry, the body. Save. So look, if you notice something, immediately I save. Let me undo this guy. Let me type this again. There's something I want you guys to take note of. Okay. Oh, shit. Two things are happening on my system by default. You may not get this feeling, this same experience from your end because already I have some of those things customized on my system already. So at this point, I think somebody should share his screen. Who's ready to do that quickly so that I could just show you, point out something? Because you're not going to see that on my own system because I already have some of those things configured. Who's going to do that for us quickly?
Can I?
Please go on. Yes. Can you share your screen? You can. Right, great. Just open your VS Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So inside of this place now, create a folder. Yeah, folder. Great. Yeah, click. You can now type the name for the folder. I see your cursor is blinking. You can type week 1. These are week 1.
Okay.
You can start typing on your keyboard already. You can see your cursor blinking, right?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Week underscore 1. Yeah, go on. That was right. Yeah, great. That's
I don't
fine.
know. My underscore is not working. Okay, underscore 1.
No, 1.
Okay.
Just hit enter. Great, you have the folder now. So create a file inside of that folder. Yeah, great. You select it. Then go up. Select the file. Yeah, up.
Up
over to where you have that file. Remember that? Yeah, file. Great. Select it. Yeah, you can now name it index.html.
How can I increase the size? Sorry, are you seeing it clearly? Is that not too small?
Yeah, I can see it, but for you to do that, yeah, you just need to know. Press Control plus, there's a plus button on your keyboard. It is somewhere at the top right of your keyboard, beside the backspace. There's a plus. So you press down, great, good, awesome. So now for you to reduce it back, you now use the minus, Control minus. Great, that's to go back. To increase, Control plus.
Okay, great.
Right. So now inside of week 1, create a file, index.html. You haven't click on week 1. This is just the settings. You can close it. You can close the settings tab. Yeah, great. Index.html.
Right,
index. You can literally give it any name you want. Yeah, you can actually give it any name, but the extension must be .html. Great.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Enter. Great. Now, see, so you now have this environment, this white space. You can see number 1. This is where you can now write your code. Yeah. Okay. So you can now press a shift less than sign. Those less than symbols on your keyboard. No. See, you press what you press will start. Shift.
Okay. Shift. Okay. Sorry, just
less than. No, it's fine. Take your time. Yeah. Now just select the doc type.
Doc type.
That's the part. Yeah. Great. Select it. Awesome. So hit enter now. Good. Now there's one behavior. Okay, yeah. Type your HTML. Great. Yeah, select the first one. First one. Great. Good.
Great.
Yeah, hit enter. Yes, great. In between now, you can now type your head and then the body.
The head and the body.
Yeah, just type head. Yeah, that's it. Select it.
And body.
Now you can see your system is helping you to do some he's automatically putting those tabs. Yeah.
So I should enter or tab.
Come out of it and then type body. Because there are 2 things. Yeah, inside now.
Enter.
Hit enter. Yes. Type body. Enter.
Oh, this is amazing. Thanks. I was always wondering how they do this,
Yeah. Now there's something I want you to take note of. Look at the index.html, the tab. There's a white dot.
Okay.
Can you see that white dot on top?
Yes.
That white dot. Good. Yeah. Don't close it. Just hover down. there's that white dot is telling you that this file you have written, you have not saved it. That's the indication.
Okay.
But for my own settings, I did an auto save. That was why I was not showing that white dot. And that was why I wanted someone else to try typing. So now for you to save, that is like a pointer that, oh, if you do not save this file and then you close VS Code, that work you did will be lost.
Oh, right.
So at this point now you have to save. You can use Control S on your keyboard.
Yeah,
you see the white dot
is gone. Yeah, I just did Control S. Yeah,
it's gone. Yeah. So now another thing again, you can take
excuse me. There are two bodies showing here. As I press
one is like the opening tag, the other one is the closing tag.
All right.
See the second one, the one on line 6, there's a forward slash.
Forward slash, yes.
Yeah, that shows like that's the closing.
Okay, great.
Okay, now so the next thing I also want you to also try is, you notice the code is not well indented.
Okay.
Like everything is just on the same straight line. But if you notice mine, they were kind of there was some sort of indentation. It's because there's another extension you need to install called Prettier. So go to the extension section. Select it.
Prettier.
Then you can now type there. Prettier. P-R-E-T-I-E-R. Yeah, look at it there. Great. Yeah, click on it.
The first one? Should I install the first one?
Yeah, the first one. Just click on it and you can see about it. Yeah. Yes, you can install. Great, it's installed now. Good, it has installed. So you can now close this tab.
Okay.
So basically what it does is helps you to format your code, right? Okay, now to locate back your file, go to the top left. Go to the Explorer.
Okay.
Yeah, click the top.
The search or the Explorer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explorer. Great. Now you see you're back to this place.
Yeah.
That should, in case you went down to the extension, you did an installation, you want to go back, you can just locate that place and click and then you're there. So now the next thing is we need to configure that Prettier to be able to format your code. You can see the way your codes are looking now, just all on the straight line, just all towards the end, which is not supposed to be so, right? So let's configure Prettier so that you can see Prettier in action.
Okay.
So we'll need to open your settings. So the shortcut to open your settings is Control backtick. Okay.
Backtick.
Okay, let's just use the normal route. Look at the bottom left of your screen, of your VS Code. Bottom left.
Okay.
Look at the setting icon. Come up a bit. After that. Yes. Then locate settings. Can you see the shortcut Control backtick? That's in case you want to use it. Yeah, you can click on it now. Click on settings.
Okay.
Great. Now, remember I told you I have auto save on my system. Look at yours. Auto save is off. The first item of auto save. Can you see? You can change it.
So what should I change it to?
You can change it to on focus change. That's once you stop typing, then it should automatically save it.
Okay, great.
Right? So then we need to configure your Prettier. So can you see these search settings at the top bar? Search settings. Right there now. So you can now search for formatter. Just type formatter. Great. That's it. Yeah, we have it. Okay, you can see default formatter. This other section, the right side of your screen, the right side, not the sidebar. The first one. Now you see default formatter. You can now choose Prettier from there. Look at you install. Scroll down after PHP Prettier. No, click on it.
Okay.
Yeah, Prettier. Keep going down.
Okay, yeah. That's a code formatter. Is that it? The first one.
Down. Yes, the first one, Prettier code formatter. You just passed it. It's up.
Yeah, this one, right?
No, go up. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that one. Select it.
Okay. Oh, great.
Click on it. Good. Now you have selected it as your code formatter. Now look at there's another box I want you to check. format on save. Can you see this format on save?
Format on save.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just down a bit. Yes.
This one?
Check that box. No, check the box. No, up. Go back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the box. Great. That's it. Mhm.
Okay.
So you can now close this tab, this settings tab.
Okay.
You can close the settings tab.
Okay.
Yeah, now I want you to save the code. Do Control S. Let's see. Can you see what just happened?
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So you automatically formatted your code. So basically, this is just the structure of HTML. Everything is now, you can see that there are two tags, the head tag on line 3, and then the body tag on line 4. So what now happens is, anything you write inside the body tag, that's what is going to display on your browser, right? So now let's try that. Now there are different tags. Now, if you go through that material, you also discover that there are different tags you can literally use. On your browser, there's a heading tag, there are paragraphs. This thing, just look at it like you're writing a letter, right? If you're writing a letter, there are times where you use paragraphs and then you use heading, right? So now we're going to make use of the heading tag. So in between that body, right? Yeah, hit enter in between the body. No, you are in the head, in between the body. We'll come to the head too. Just go to the body first.
How do I go back?
Just use your cursor and go in between the, like you can just literally move. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
that.
move down. Yeah, move down to line 6. Yeah, good. You're moving your cursor. Go to lines to the, yeah, in between the body and click and just click. No, you can ignore that part. Just go down to your body. As
Okay, I should go to the body.
Click, yeah, and click.
In between it.
Yeah, and click. Yeah, you are in between now. Yes, enter. Yeah. So now I want you to type H1. Great. Select it. Good. That's like heading 1. That's like the main heading. Just type in you can type heading inside. Type heading inside. Heading. Yeah, good. So that's fine. Now look, can you see that dot? The white dot. Yeah, you need to save. Command.
All right.
Yeah, remember it's Control S. Great, you have saved.
Control S, yeah.
Okay, now I want you to do this thing. Go to where this file is on your system.
Okay.
That's outside of this VS Code environment.
Okay, fine. So I should exit the.
Yeah, don't minimize this. Yeah. Yeah. I think you created that folder. It was on your desktop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Open it. Yeah. Okay. Click one. All right. So this is the file. This is the code. Your code is inside this index. So just click on it. Double click on it. Then open it with Chrome. Yeah. Can you see the heading you wrote?
Yeah.
So anything you write inside of that body tag is going to show here, right? So now another thing I want, instead of us going minimizing and coming, I want you to try this on your keyboard. Press the Windows key and then the right arrow on your keyboard. Press Windows button, press and hold it down, and then press the right arrow key. Right arrow key.
This one?
Right. I can see your keyboard.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
right
okay.
arrow. Right arrow.
The right one, okay. The forward
right
one. The Windows key.
Just press.
Is that it?
No, if you press it, I'll see there'll be something will happen. Great, yes. All right. Then open your VS Code. Remember you minimized it.
Yeah. Okay.
Press the Windows and then the left side so that you can keep it side by side.
Press the window.
Yeah, and then the right or the left. Windows and then the left arrow key.
Yeah.
Also.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see both of them are positioned side by side, right?
Side by side.
So that you don't have to minimize before you can go and see what you type in.
Okay.
So another thing is you can actually reduce the width of your browser. Just hover over, go towards your browser. Go gently, you see it to change. No. Go towards the edge. In between. Yeah, good. Yeah, I just saw that. Yes. No, I saw that again. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, click and then drag it towards the right-hand side. Drag it towards the right-hand side. Towards your right. Great. Okay, good. So that I can have enough space to type. You can do the same thing for this browser side, for your VS Code. The line demarcating the environment where you need to type and then the other side of it. And the sidebar, not there. Come inside of your VS Code. Come inside, walk towards the left side, side.
Okay.
Yeah, that line in between there. Great, yeah. Awesome. Great, good. All right, awesome, that's nice. So now, okay, go after the H1, click and enter. After
the H1?
Yeah.
This one or the first one?
The last one, that's the closing tag. So anytime I say closing tag, I'm referring to the last one.
Okay.
Okay, hit enter now. You can type H2 now. No. On line 6. Do that on line 6. Remember, everything you want to show on the browser should be in between the body tag.
Okay. How did that go?
Yeah, you can, type H2 there. Yeah, select it. Okay, you can type inside now. You can type heading again. Okay, save that. Yeah, you see, immediately you save, it formatted the code for you.
Yeah.
Great. But now it is not showing this side. So for it to show, you have to go to the browser side and refresh. Look at that refresh. Yeah. You see it's showing now, right?
Yeah.
On H2, right? So now, if you notice, H1 is looking bigger than H2. Right? And another thing, there's another behavior. You had to go there to refresh before the changes showed up, right? So this time around, we are going to install another extension again that will help us be automatically doing that refresh. You don't want to be going there, refresh, and coming back, right? So go to extension.
Extension.
Yeah. Click on extension. Yeah. You now search for live server. Live server. Live. LIVES. Space.
Is it one word or?
No, that's it. You have seen it. The first one. Can you see the first?
I should install it. Should I install it?
Yes, install it.
Installing.
Yeah. So we have used 3 extensions now. Okay, you can close this tab.
Sorry.
Close the extension tab. The X is up there.
Because this browser is nice. Oops. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You can bring that up anytime. In fact, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah. So close the extension tab. Look at you have not closed. Okay, the extension.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it. Because of the screen sharing was covering it. I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, true. I usually experience that.
Just so, yeah.
So now I can click on File Explorer.
File Explorer.
At the sidebar, so that this extension thing can go away. File Explorer, the left side. No. Top left. Yeah, the first item. Great, good. Yeah, you're there. Right. So now we want to open this now. We don't want to be doing this refresh. So that's where the live server comes into play. Look at the bottom of your VS Code. Can you see anything? Let me try to check mine. The bottom of your VS Code. Can you see anything like go live?
Yeah, here it is.
Great. It's that extension that you just installed now that brought up that go live. So now allow it. Allow.
Okay.
Allow. Awesome.
Nice.
Now see your code has okay. Go back and then type H3. You can just close this tab. Yeah, close it. Great. Okay. Put an H3 tag now. After H2, we should have H3.
Yeah, I should enter, right? Before.
Yeah, enter. Yeah, type history. Enter. Select it. Yeah, type something inside. Save.
Should I save first or I should enter?
No, just save. Yeah, you can select that too. Select it is fine. Did you notice what just happened?
Yeah, the heading just came out.
Immediately.
Instead of refreshing.
Exactly. So now that's the use of that extension. So as we keep going, once there's a need for any extension, I'll say, okay, we need this extension to do this particular thing and all that. Oh yeah, there's another one, another cool one you may also want to also explore. So, okay, this is how that one works. What do you call that? Auto rename. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Go to line 7, go to the opening tag of history. Let's start using these terms now, so we'll get used to it. Opening tag of H3. H3, opening tag. Remember the opening tag is the first one. Great. I want you to rename it from H3 to H4. You should be inside the opening tag. The opening tag, your cursor is not blinking inside. Yeah, I want you to change it from H3 to H4. Now, remove 3 and write 4. No, you're going away. I don't know if you got what I mean. I mean, you should enter inside of the opening tag of H3. That's on line 7. Line 7. Go to line 7.
I think what they are trying to say is take your mouse cursor, put it where there's H3 on line 7, click it. This tab that is showing on line 10 will go back to that line 3, then clean 3
Great.
and put
Yeah,
4.
exactly. Okay,
No,
move
still
inside.
Go inside.
You can use your arrow keys to navigate inside. Like
Go
you can just
inside
press your
greater
arrow
than.
key.
Go
Enter
inside greater than.
Sorry, can I get back to you, please? Just a moment. Let me deal with it.
Okay, that's fine.
Can you mute me? Just mute me, please.
Okay, let me just share my screen and then take over from there, right? But I think the whole thing is clear, right? You now understand the use of some of those extensions.
Yeah, should I stop sharing now? Okay,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, you can stop sharing now so that I can
No, don't
share
worry. I
them.
think she's settled now. I'm holding her.
Okay.
She just woke up. Maybe our noise woke her up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry. Well,
All right. So yeah, go inside the history.
Okay. Is that where I am? Where my
No. You should be inside of the greater than and less than sign. That's inside of the opening tag.
Inside. Okay.
So when I say go inside the opening tag, you should be inside of that place.
All right.
So now you see you have changed it to H4. You have to go to the closing tag and also change it to H4. Closing tag.
Okay. Sorry about this.
Auto close.
So what am I to do again, Samuel?
Okay, go to the closing tag.
Okay. And
change
that.
It also to H4.
H4. Thank you.
Save. Remember when you see a white dot, you have to save. Control S. Can you see that phone just got smaller?
Sorry, it's like someone needs to take over from me. Can I stop sharing?
All right, that's fine. You can stop sharing. I'll take over. Wait.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, you guys, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, all right, great. So now once I save, you see it's automatically formatted. It's because of that picture, right? Already I have all those packages installed on my PC. That was why I wanted someone else to share so that you can see how rough it looks like. When maybe for those of you that just installed VS Code, right? And then for those extensions, my colleague, she's also doing a very good job trying to drop some of those messages in the chats for us to take a look at. We'll still forward some of those messages in the in the WhatsApp group, so you could still make use of them, right? So now the other extension I wanted him to try out was, okay, now that we have Go Live, we have seen this guy in action. Let me split my screen. Then to split, like I told him, is just Windows and then the arrow keys on your keyboard, right? So anything you type in between this body goes live. So if I type H1 and I call this guy, this is heading 1 tag, I save it, you can see it immediately there, right? So we see have other heading tag like H2. So I can call this guy heading 2.
Sorry, we can't see what you are doing, sir.
Oh, you can't see my screen? It's short from my end.
I can
Can you
see
see
it
my
now.
screen? Okay, great. So this is H1. You see H1 is big, H2 is a bit smaller, and then we have them down up to H6. So we have heading 3. You can see heading 3 is a bit smaller, and then H4, this is like heading 4 is smaller. All right. Then, okay, let me show you guys something quick. I'm pressing Shift alternate arrow down on my keyboard. You see, you can quickly just duplicate. If, let's say I want to duplicate something, right? You can see all the hit for us here, right? So that saves me from coming to copy this thing, Control C, come down, enter, Control V. That's a lot of headache. So all I need to do, I can just press Shift on my keyboard, Shift Alt, arrow down. I see everything I can just duplicate anything I want, right? So the other extension I wanted him to explore was, okay, already I think I have it installed on my system. So but I'm going to show you. Remember for him, when he tried changing this, let's say I change this thing from to H5, he had to come back here and do it manually. But you notice, when I change it here, it was changed below. When I change it in the opening tag, automatically it was changed in the closing tag. Let's say I come here and change this thing, H6. See, both of them just change at the same time. Like that saves me a lot of time leaving this place to come back to this place. It's an extension running that behind the scene. Let's check. That extension is called, what's the name again? It should be
Auto rename.
Auto rename. Auto rename. You can see it here, auto rename, right? So I think we have explored a couple of extensions. And today's session we have, something is covering my screen. Okay, so we have looked at, let me pull up my Excalibur. We have looked at auto close. We have looked at auto rename. We have looked at pitch here. We have looked at, what else have we looked at? Yeah, we have looked at live server. I've looked at live server. These are some of the things. Okay, so we called, let me pick. So these are the extensions we have looked at. So these are the extensions. And then these ones, which was when we, okay, this is, let me call this VS Code extensions. This is VS Code extensions. So we call these guys, what do we call these guys? Extensions as well, right? These are file extensions, right? So here we now talked about, also have .html. Let me zoom in a bit. So we have looked at file extensions, and then this one, we have looked at, what do you call this? We have looked at command line prompts. Take this guy up a bit, right? Yeah, so these are some of the things we have looked at in our section. And make a screenshot of this and share with you. All right. Okay, great. Let me bring up my live server. Okay, so basically these are some of the extensions we have seen them in action, and then that's just basically how to write a structure. So remember, anything you drop in the body section is what's going to show on the browser. So what about the head tag? Inside this head tag too, there are some contents that helps me. They are like metadata that they give you some sort of description of what this website is all about, right? So inside here you can have something like a title, right? This is like giving this page a title. Like I can call this my first, or I can call let me call this my first web page. My first web page. Let me collapse this guy so you can see it very well. See, we have two things here. The HTML has head, and then it has a body, right? We're running out of time. It has head and a body. So now see that head. Let me point this guy out. You can see my first web page here. I don't know if you can see this, my first web page. That's what we wrote in here. Let's say I call this, let me just rename this thing to HTML and then save it. Let me come back to this guy. You can see HTML, it's here, right? So it's more or less like this holds your metadata and then links to other files, external files, right? Then in the body section, anything you type in the body section is what is going to show on the site, basically, right? So these are what we call tags. This is an opening tag. This is a closing tag. The distinction between these two guys, remember, like I said, is the / that is in between here. So, but sometimes you hear people say like an element. So all of this together is what forms an element. That's the opening tag and the closing tag with the content inside are referred to as an element. Let me bring back to a very typical scenario. The father, the mother, and then the children is what we call a family. The opening tag, the closing tag, and the contents in between is what you call an element. Let me put this in between. This is what we call an element. So we have 10 more minutes left. Okay, this is what we call an element. The opening and then the closing. We call everything. So this alone is an opening tag. So when I say go to your opening tag, I mean this. Go to your closing tag, I'm referring to this. Change the content of your element. I'm saying you should change this this is the content. This is the content. What is in between here is the content. Change the content, I'm referring to this. Check your head, your opening tag, check your closing tag. Go to the head section, I'm referring to this. Go into your body, I'm referring to this. This is your tags, right? So there are a lot of these tags, and these are the tags that you have. P tag, which stands for paragraph, right? Let me generate some random text inside P tag, right? So this, you can see this text. I think that was too much text. Yeah, let me reduce it to, let's see, 30. So this is just Lorem to generate random text. So you can see the text in a P tag, right? So if I come here, I can have another P tag, which stands for paragraph, Lorem, let's say 10 lines or 10 characters. You can see it here, right? So I can even put another H2 here, called this is the subheading. This is a subheading. You can see the heading, right? So there are other. So basically what I want you to understand is elements consist of opening and closing tag with the content in between. But there's a but to it. There are some elements that are referred to as self-closing tags. That they don't have a closing tag. You just write only one line. For example, let me give you one. HR, for example. This is, you can see, is the one that gave us this line. Let me comment it out. And again, there's something called commenting, right? Comments. This is a comment. You see, it's not going to show. It's in there in your code, but comments are more or less like descriptions to your code, right? So I can come here inside here and say, okay, the line, you see the line below is a paragraph. The computer is not going to execute this. You see, it's not showing here because I dropped it inside of this. This is a comment. So anything inside comments are not visible. They are just for the developer so that the developer knows what he's doing, right? So like I was talking about self-closing tag, HR, this is another self-closing tag. See, it's the one that gave us this line here. Let me open this in full. You can see this line that's here, right? So I can come down here and if I want, I can see I have another H2 tag. I can call this thing another subheading. I'll save it. You can see the heading tag, right? If I want to put a line under HR, you can see the HR self-closing tag. A paragraph, lorem, 50 characters. You can see everything here, right? So this is just it. Okay. Now, what if I've forgotten all these things? How can I come and start doing this thing? Okay, now I've deleted everything. Right? There's a short way. You can just come, press Shift, and get this exclamation. Once you see this exclamation, hit it. You see it has automatically generated a boilerplate for me. You don't need to do, so these are some of those metadata, viewports. This is the title, showing document. So if I save this guy, and then I open this, you see document showing there. Sorry. You can see document showing there, right? So now once we come back, you can just, remember, just shift exclamation sign, this exclamation, hit enter, and this you have this boilerplate to work with. And rename this thing to HTML, give it the title you want. Then in between the body, remember it's anything you type it, I'll show. If I have H2, heading 2, I'll save it. Refresh this guy, I can see heading 2 that I wrote, heading 2. So if I have a P tag, lorem 30, you can see the content. If I want a HR, can see the line, and then that goes on and on and on, right? So like I was saying, there are a lot of these tags. If you look at this material I shared with you, now if you take your time and go through this thing, you see everything. Well, this is like the structure we just looked at. This is like trying to explain what HTML, the doc declaration, what it means, HTML elements, the head, the metadata, what the title section we just dealt with is placed in the head element, and it defines the title of the web page. Then within the body element contains the visible content of the HTML document, like we have seen, HTML tags, what the tags are, HTML elements, which we've talked about, that are made up of HTML tags and the content within them, right? And then you can have, these are different HTML, these are like different other HTML tags you can explore, right? And then they are categorized into inline and then block elements. So all what you need to do is just go through this material. So you can see a next button here, right? Or if you come here and click here, you can see this is what we just talked about, text formatting. Then we even talked about text format. Look, we talked about paragraphs, heading tags from H1 to H6, line breaks. This one, they just breaks the line, strong, underline, then we have list, ordered list, and unordered list. So basically, right? And then if you look at another section here called images, how to add, those are like all HTML tags, well explanatory. So maybe this week, I would just advise you could just take time, study this material just from module 1, which we've already treated today. We've explained this thing in detail, talked about this, what HTML is. We've looked at the structure. These are just like the text formatting, headings, paragraphs, line breaks. What are line? They're just breaks. They're like line breakers. You want to break a line, right? Let me show you what that means. Let's see. Okay, let's say maybe I have this is a heading. You see this is the heading. Let's say I want to break at A. I want this heading to come down. In between here, I can now put the break tag. This is also a self-closing BR. You can see it has broken this thing, right? Down to this place. So that's it for those line breaks, P tag. There's really nothing so big about this thing. So just take your time, go through this material from module 1 to module 5. Just that for this week. It's enough, right? And then I'll also drop a simple page that I want you guys to now, after going through all this thing, put all this knowledge together and try to do that simple page with using HTML. Let's see what you can do. And then if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat sections. And then I'll see drop links to some videos, YouTube videos that you can just go on and watch to explain some of those concepts, right? But I believe everything was quite simple and very clear. So we have just 2 minutes. I think, yeah, that was just it for today's section. So during the course of the week, I want you to study just from week module 1 to module 5. And then I'll drop a simple page that you can just try to design, or it shouldn't, and don't restrict your knowledge or your learning to whatever page I will ask you to design. You can also go and study and explore, do so many stuffs, and maybe when next we jump on the call, we'll take the next first 10 to 30 minutes to review what maybe you guys were able to do within the course of the week, right? I don't know if you have questions, and yeah, that was basically it for today's session. So guys, how was it? Hope I was not talking to myself alone. Hello, Jeffrey. Johnny K, how was it? Was I talking to myself?
No, you aren't actually talking to
No, not at all. It was nice. It was nice.
It was nice, right? Great. So should in case you have any issues with how I teach, feel free. We are all learning, right? For me, like I said earlier, it's like a school that you don't graduate from. You keep learning every day, keep working. Don't mind how I look tattered, tech boys, we don't have time to go out. I can't remember the last time I saw friends or hang out, always indoors. But it's fun. It's a cool life, actually. It's cool. Maybe one day I'll just go and then show you guys around the office and you get to understand how awesome this thing looks like. Yeah, it's nice. So just take your time, study that material at least from module 1 to module 5. Try to build out something very little. Have your end of the week's learning. Like, okay, this week I was able to learn something like this. I started learning front end. Okay, I've designed this, or today I learned this and learned this. So that all these things forms part of your digital footprint. People are okay, you're learning this, get to see your learning. You can tag me in your conversations on LinkedIn. The full name is Samuel Oti. You just can link up with me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or yeah. So you can type your progress. So I don't know if anybody has questions.
Samuel.
Oti, O-R-T-I-L.
Okay, Oti. Okay, I have one question that I wanted to ask before now. I wanted to ask which of the extensions was responsible for the automatic opening and closing tag. By that I mean the greater than and less than and greater than. You know, yours comes up automatically. I want to know.
There's this VS Code has this emit. You know, if you notice when he typed H1, for example, just type H1 without writing anything, you see emit. So it's like a built-in feature that comes with VS Code that understands that, okay, this guy is about to write HTML. Because from the very beginning, he said that this file is .html. From the top of the file, he has already said that this doc type is HTML. All right, let's have this guy do this job. So when he now type H1, oh, VS Code now, okay, H1. To write H1 properly, it has an opening tag, and then there's a closing stuff, and then you could just emit it for you, and then voila. That's just it.
That's okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Precious, how are you doing? How was it? Any question?
It was fine. No, I understood everything.
Thumbs up. Boniface. Emmanuel. Okay, great.
Yeah, it was a great session. Thank you. And I'm satisfied with the clarity in your voice and also.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yes, so thank you.
All right. Johnny K, how is it going from your end? Okay, guys, if there's no question, yeah, that was basically it for today. So please do me a favor, you can drop a message in the group how the session was, just if feedback. Feel free to drop in the both. Like I'm just that guy that loves negative feedbacks, positive, whatever it is. It's perfect by me because I see that to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you had some errors here. You need to go work on this thing, and then okay, for me it's like a learning phase. It's like you trying to tell me that, oh, go and work on this part. It's fine by me. So feel free to drop sincere feedbacks about the session. If there was something you didn't like, okay, Sam, yeah, you did well, but I feel you should work on this area. Yeah, that would be great. I would really appreciate it. Or if everything went very smooth and fine, feel free. Oh, Sam, we had a great, awesome session today on Maxify doing this and that. You can post on LinkedIn, chatting, whatever. It's cool, right? Let's just feel free and enjoy the flow. And cheers, happy weekend, and happy coding for the week. So that was basically it, and then have an awesome week ahead. Thank you so much, guys. Bye for now.
Thank you.